Let's take you now live to Miami, Florida, where Governor Ron DeSantis is signing the Stop Woke Act. Let's listen in.
So the bill that we'll be signing here today provides substantive protections for both students and parents to ensure that the education they're receiving in Florida is consistent with the standards of the state of Florida. And those standards do not allow pernicious ideologies like critical race theory to be taught in our K through 12 schools. We are not going to use your tax dollars to teach our kids to hate this country or to hate each other. We believe that every single student matters, every single student counts. We are not going to categorize you based on your race. We are not going to tell some kindergartner that they're an oppressor based on their race and what may have happened 100 or 200 years ago. And we're not going to tell other kids that they're oppressed based on their race. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't succeed in this state. Everybody can succeed. And so we believe in having that true, solid education. I will point out, because you actually will hear people lie about what we're actually doing in the bill, and they'll say they don't want you to learn about history and all the key things. Just understand, in the state of Florida, it is required in Florida statutes to teach about all segments of American history. You have to teach about the Holocaust. You must teach about African American history. You teach about the institution and the abolition of slavery. You teach about the failure of the post-Civil War amendments to take hold and how you needed to fight for civil rights. We teach all of that because it's real history and it's important. But what we will not do is let people distort history to try to serve their current ideological goals. And we see this in examples like the New York Times' 1619 Project, where they teach that the American Revolution was fought to defend slavery, when in reality, you can read the pamphlets, you can look at the Boston Tea Party, you can see what they were upset about because they told us. They wrote it down, and they wrote a Declaration of Independence to fuel their fight for freedom. And so we have to be accurate, and we cannot allow ideologues to try to distort what has happened in this country's history. And so we will absolutely teach all aspects of history that are true. We will study, in particular, the contributions of both women and Hispanics to Florida and to the United States. We will teach about civics, character. We will also have mental health education. This is all very, very important, and we are really on the cutting edge. But what we will not allow is to be taught that members of one race, color, national origin, or sex are somehow morally superior. We are not going to teach that a person, simply by virtue of his or her race, color, national origin, or sex, is inherently racist, sexist, or oppressive. That's wrong. We are going to make sure a person's moral character or status as either privileged or oppressed is necessarily determined by his or her race, color, national origin, or sex. That is not allowed. That is wrong, and we are not going to teach that. We're also not going to teach that virtues such as merit, excellence, hard work, fairness, neutrality, objectivity, and colorblindness are somehow racist or sexist. They are not. Everybody can succeed. Everybody works hard. Everybody deserves fairness, and so we're going to stand by that. If you look, though, there's a lot of focus, understandably, on the schools, and we have seen examples of this ideology in the schools. And another thing that people will say is, there is no course called CRT in our K through 12 schools. And, that is actually true, that there are courses like that in law schools, which is really where it should stay. But what we are doing here is actually enumerating the principles of CRT being put into practice in a whole variety of subjects. So yes, we understand that's not just one course, it's an overall worldview that many people are trying to inject into our kids' education. And that is not a true education, that is indoctrination. So it's a significant issue, and parents are going to be able to have recourse if the school districts are not following Florida standards. But we also understand the bill that we're signing is called the Stop Woke Act. And the reason what it stands for, woke, is Stop Wrongs Against Our Kids and Employees Act. Because unfortunately, you've seen employees, mostly working for major Fortune 500 companies, that get subjected to this same type of ideology in the guise of workforce training. Coca-Cola, for example, had their employees be urged to be, quote, less white as part of the company's diversity training. Google employee program claims that America is a system of white supremacy and that all Americans are, quote, raised to be racist. Walt Disney Corporation, of course, claimed that Walt Disney Corporation claimed that America was founded on, quote, systemic racism and encouraged employees to complete a, quote, white privilege checklist. Under this law, that is a violation of your civil rights. And so we will have substantive protections, not just for students and parents, but also employees, and we're proud of that. We also define in this bill individual freedom on the fundamental truth that all individuals are equal before the law and have inalienable rights. And all school instruction, instructional materials, and professional development must be consistent with those core principles that this nation was founded upon. Now, as a contrast to critical race theory, this bill requires the Department of Education in the state of Florida to develop a Stories of Inspiration curriculum to inspire students with stories from American history that embody the principles of freedom. It was interesting. I think Senator Garcia showed someone, some partisan group was sending out flyers saying that because she voted for this, she didn't want people to learn about George Washington. And I'm thinking to myself, like, first of all, that's not in here, but if our kids...
All right, Governor DeSantis there in Florida about to sign the Stop Woke Act, an effort to get rid of the distortions that from political ideology that's being manifested in some of these things being taught in schools and also training into some corporations. So in the workplace, as you said. Yeah,
when it comes to race, color, sex, and gender.
Right.
And specifically, I thought it was interesting, he called CRT a pernicious ideology, and said that they're not going to categorize children based on race as either oppressed or an oppressor.
Right. Okay. We'll keep track of that. We expect them to sign it, of course, and we'll be talking more about that later in this hour.